Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Sports Den Quarantine. We've got your quarantined crew in our respective dens. I'm Kenton. We got Rick Palermo.
Hi, everybody.
And we've got J.W. Cox.
Howdy, everybody.
Hi.
What shall we say? Howdy.
Oh,
everybody.
there it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Howdy, partners.
Howdy.
All right. This ain't
And what better way to kick off the boys basketball episode than a 10-gallon hat?
We're trying to get buckets, right?
Yeah, getting buckets.
You guys.
Speaking of buckets, one of our team putting in buckets this year, Blaine Bengals.
Yeah, the Blaine Bengals, there was some ups and downs, certainly some positives and some great individual performances that we saw throughout the balance of the season with some of the Blaine Bengals. It didn't end the way they wanted to after they started even Steven and then had a losing skid early in the year would put them behind the eight ball when it came to some of their section seeding. So they're in that 4-5 matchup going into the first round against Forest Lake. But the Bengals came out and they had themselves a lead at halftime, and things were looking good to kind of extend the season at that point and play some of their best basketball right there. And not only leading at the half, but within the last couple of minutes, putting in buckets to be able to take a lead and then seesaw back and forth with a good Forest Lake team. These teams have had battles over the years at the section finals and section semis level, and eventually, though, Forest Lake just gets the better of them in the Bengals season. But it was overall, again, you can take some positives away from their 7-5 mark in the Northwest Suburban Conference North. The individual players that we're going to talk about, some great individual game performances that'll be memorable for those guys too. So it didn't finish the way the Bengals wanted to, Rick, but again, there's some guys that they'll have some memorable seasons, and one of them starts with the big man in the middle.
Yeah, I think when you talk about the Blaine Bengals, you got to start with Isaiah Giles, right? You start in the middle. We couldn't find an official listing for how tall Isaiah was on the internet, but he's a big dude. And, it's not only his height, but it's his size. Like, he's a wide player. He's able to go down in the post and make something happen. Like, you look at his highlights, he loves to draw contact, and he's got that nice little hook shot. And it's not just on the offensive end, it's defensive too. Like, this guy, he's a help side defender that anybody would like to have on their team. So, he led the team in scoring average just under 13 points a game. His biggest game came against East Ridge. He scored 27 points, and just a lot of them in the paint, a lot of damage down low. And, he was able to set up other players on the perimeter because he was so good offensively in the middle.
Yeah, and you talk about those perimeter players, and Kitten, and you guys will have a little more when we wrap up this player profile on the biggest outside threat they have. But throw in Patrick Peralt, too, as another senior that contributed at a consistent level, nearly 10 points a game. He had a 19-point performance at one point in the season. He's a guy that can hit it from the outside. And you don't just want that as the inside out, right, Rick? You see that in the NBA all the time now, too. Yeah, you want to hit the threes. You want to get that open to knock those down. But Peralt was a guy that could then take it off the bounce, too, if they start to adjust and over pursuit of the three-point line. And that could be said about a lot of those Bengals that were working that inside out with Giles. But Peralt, the leadership coming in, and also the shot making and his ability to provide a little bit of an offensive spark to complement Giles, that'll be something. We'll talk about a lot of seniors that will be gone and what this Bengal team has to replace. Peralt was another guy that was a big part of what this Bengal team did when they were rolling well.
Yeah, another guy, Peralt, Samuel Olsen. He was kind of the complement to Giles because he wasn't as physical down low, but he also loved to draw contact. And he's a player that got the ball, and he knew how to score inside, which when you have two guys like Giles and Sam Olsen, like that can kind of work the paint, that opens things up for guys like Peralt. And, that was a lot of their success. They scored a lot of points in the paint, and they kind of dominated from that section. And kind of old school basketball, right?
Yeah.
We haven't seen some of that because now teams are adapting three-point and trying to run and gun. So it's nice to see guys like Olsen who averaged 8 points a game.
AJ Call. As far as shooters go, this guy was unbelievable. Just a smooth shooting stroke. He does it off of a pass, off of a screen, off the dribble. He did it from deep. He did it from all around the arc. You knew once he got the ball and had a look, it was going in. There was almost no doubt about it. I think I've seen him miss 2 3-pointers in the games I've seen, and I've seen him make like 30 3-pointers. So that percentage is ridiculous, and a big moment for him. 8 3-pointers versus 2 different opponents.
Aaron Call dialing it up from distance, knocks down the three. Would not be his last three-pointer of the night. Coming back the other way, Talon Elmi with the three. And then Jackson Aurelius with the three as Coon Rapids takes a 37-35 lead. The steal and up ahead to Elmi, and he scores it. Coming back, Aaron Call on fire. Drills it from the corner. They tie it up at 46. This time it's Patrick Peralt's turn. Rotate it. Peralt knocks it down. They go up 54-53. And then this time Peralt cutting in. And Olsen finds him. They take a 60-55 lead. And then Elmi, nice attack at the rim. They were within three, but that's as close as they get. They make their free throws. Maxwell Stepanek, and 63-57 the final score. Bengals win thanks to CTN for the footage. Aaron Call, 8 3-pointers. 8 times he made baskets from outside the three-point line. That's 24 points for him.
Stepanek for Call for three. Yes! And AJ Call another three. Peralt at the top. Now back to Call for three on the way, and it's good. Call, same five starters. Call will try another three and hit. A cutter now. Call, why not? Another one. Yes! He's gonna have a field goal tonight, but he's 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Here's Call again. Triple, triple, triple. Points per game. As this one into the corner. Call for three. Another one. 7 threes in the game, and they're cutting this down to 16, but a turnover here. Here comes Blaine. Call will try it again. My goodness. 8 3-pointers tonight. He's got 24.
So it's not often you have an 8 3-point game. It's 8 more than I had in my career total. So just what an accomplishment. And that's obviously he's a sophomore. His older brother Jared played for the Bengals, and now it's his turn. And already as a sophomore, making a huge impact and looking for even bigger things in the future from him.
Well, and that leads you right into what they're looking at next year. Yeah, they're going to lose 9 seniors, guys that were starters, guys that maybe didn't get playing time, but anytime you lose that number of seniors and just guys that are rock-solid parts of the program, you're going to have some pieces to pick up. But what were we talking about? The style of the Bengals when they were rolling well, being able to play inside and out. Well, yeah, you bring back Samuel Olsen, who did a lot of great things, hopefully stepping into those shoes of Isaiah Giles on the inside, and then who better to bring back for a junior season than A.J. Call to, again, like you said, Kitten, we didn't see him miss much. So projections and trends, if he just keeps getting step-by-step better from beyond the arc, I mean, watch out for this Bengal team. And no doubt they'll fill in some other guys around that. But as far as building blocks, that's coaches would love to have those two types of guys coming back to keep pushing forward off this season. From the Bengals to the Cougars, who, I mean, you talk about a team that they took their lumps this year. Teams have this. We praised in our girls basketball episode the Spring Lake Park girls team specifically because the depths of where they've come from. Programs go through struggle seasons, and that's unfortunately what the Cougars had. Just with 4 wins, they ended up losing in the Section 5 first round to Park Center. Park Center ended up going to the finals to, in perpetuity be playing for that championship that was canceled at that point. But you look at the Cougars and potentially some guys coming back, and there is some hope looking at what the Cougars are going to do, just led in scoring by a junior. And anytime you have that, you talk about maybe trying to get better. Mason Lindsay, 12 points a game. That could be a guy that comes back and helps push this Cougar team forward. And Rick, you look no further maybe if you're the Cougars than that Spring Lake Park girls team we talked about. You put in the hard work, and even the next team we'll talk about, Spring Lake Park boys, you put in the hard work in a tough year, that's going to pay off down the road when you can finally put together a better season.
Yeah, you just got to build the foundation, right? And they're at a struggling point right now, but you just got to put in the work and keep grinding. And there is light at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully by the senior season, for some of their key players, they can kind of translate that into doubling or even tripling their win total.
Jackson Waldvogel was a senior that helped lead them. Obviously, thinking of next year isn't going to do him any good. But Waldvogel, you talk about ending a high school career in a big way. He goes out with 2 20-point games, including 21 against Park Center in the loss in the playoffs. He had a 23-point game against Tino Grace in the regular season finale. Both losses, but that's a guy who – that's a great memory. I mean, a 4-23 season isn't something that somebody's going to brag about to their kids, but you end your career on your terms at the very least. Going if you're Jackson Waldvogel with those 2 20-point games, and that's always fun to see guys playing some of their best ball down the stretch of their career.
As we look at Centennial, hoping to build building blocks, towards the next couple seasons, the Spring Lake Park Panthers, they kind of culminated on 3-4 years of hard work, and that's going to be coming up next on Sports Den Quarantine Edition.
Welcome back here on North Metro TV's Sports Den Quarantine Edition from our respective dens at points beyond and outside the studio. We've gone over Blaine, we've gone over Centennial for boys basketball, and that leaves just the Panthers, the one more team, the Spring Lake Park Panthers, who were, by any account, the most successful team this year of our boys basketball team with 23 wins. But also that means as they ran to the section finals in Section 5, they don't know how their season ended in 2020 because they ran into the same thing that so many other teams did at so many different levels, and the entire situation shutting down that potential game. So they'll be scheduled forever to play against Park Center to determine a Section 5 champion. But so many good things from this team that really was an entertaining team from start to finish. The number of points, just the sheer amount of offense that they could put up night to night was just outstanding for the guys that, really found their stroke. And a 15-win season last year, double-digit win season last year, capping off some senior years with big 20-win season. That's just huge. 15 times along the way, they scored at least 80 points. And Kenton, you've seen a lot of high school basketball in the North Metro and out of it. You don't always get that with teams consistently being able to reach that 80-point mark. And there were some guys that were big-time contributors night in, night out that made this Spring Lake Park season so fun and one to remember.
Coach Guzzi's been coaching the Panthers for 28 years. The formula hasn't changed. It's play defense, rebound, and get up the court and shoot some threes, attack the basket, and score as many points as he possibly can. That's their brand. More often than not, it works. You've got talented players like they've had, especially here recently with the senior class that we'll talk about. And you're going to win some basketball games, and that's exactly what they did. And they had a tough loss to Champlain Park to end the regular season, but moving into the playoffs, they flipped the switch and they were full cylinder, all systems go as they went into the quarterfinal round to take on the number 7 Roseville Raiders. We got 2 guys with career scoring records at Spring Lake Park. That's a good place to start. Buckle up, some high-flying highlights. And it was day doors night. The steal, slam, and star wipes. Everything you'd ever want. And what's not to love? I could watch this over and over. This is going to be in our top plays, which we'll eventually have. A lot of top plays in the playoffs for Spring Lake Park. A lot of slams. So Phillips, what a night for him. More steals. This time it's Remme's turn for the slam. Up high. Star wipe. And we'll watch this from plenty of angles. Look out below. Oh, Say, did you see that? Jacob Say, that windmill will make the Dutch blush. And then grinding, doing the dirty work, loose ball on the floor. Skelly and all the passing, everybody. Find the open man, Dador Phillips with the reverse layup. That's another beautiful play for the Panthers. And they keep it up. They do not slow down. Skelly, the nice feed to Phillips, bucket in the foul. Phillips, huge night for him. Even stepping outside, showing the range, knocking down the three-pointer. Panthers rolled in this one. They keep the defense. Another steal for Phillips. And then this time, another slam for Phillips with the finish. Another steal fast break. Myren finishes as a big night for Myren and Phillips. They win big.
It just means a lot. We wanted to come out and just play hard because last year they beat us and we just wanted to get revenge, basically.
So you came out guns a-blazing. You got 19 points. You got a double-double, even 6 steals, couple blocks, or 4, I think. What did you do to get prepared to do that tonight?
No, I just remember the feeling from last year when we lost, and I just wanted to bring that tonight and just attack the basket.
We've been preparing for this all year. I felt like we're ready for this, and we've been waiting for this the whole season. And just to come in and put it on the scoreboard and just to know that we can play how we play tonight is a good feeling.
Then it is the semifinal round. Spring Lake Park, the 2 taking on Champlain Park, the 3 looking to avenge their loss just a week earlier. And Gabe Myren comes out firing. A big three-pointer for Myren, and we were off and running. Myren, the steal, he takes it in for the two-handed slam. And then it's Jacob Say from the corner. He knocks the 3. Panthers, within 5 minutes, have a 19-6 lead. Champlain Park goes on a 10-0 run. Witt knocks down the 3. And that's pretty much as close as they would get. Remme and the Panthers take off, drive to the hoop, beautiful bucket, and a whole lot of Gabe Myren. Skelly the steal, watch the pass to Myren, and the finish. Bucket and the foul. Skelly the behind-the-back pass. And Myren the finish. And then Myren with the steal once again. He takes it up this time. With the defensive pressure, he goes to the reverse side. Kisses it high off the glass and in. 40-30 at the half. Panthers lead. Right away in the second half, a steal up ahead to the big receiver, Skelly. He finishes and 1. And then Say drills the 3. And then this time it's Say to Phillips. Beautiful pass there. He gets it to go. Bucket and the foul. Panthers extend it to a 20-point lead when Myren hits the 3 from the corner. And they just keep on going. Myren had a huge night. So feed it to him. Even. Putting it back when they miss. But the best putback of all. Phillips' nice move to the bucket doesn't go, but Remme's there for the slam finish. Panthers win big. Myren with 33 points on the night. Skelly with 12, and Remme and Jacob Say both with 11 points apiece. And a punctuation mark on the game from Remme as they handle business, avenge the loss, and they moved on to the section finals, which unfortunately never happened.
And that's certainly tough for the seniors, too, at that point. Seniors that have built this program, you go back to when their freshman year would have been, and they, as a team, won just 5 games, and they bumped that up the next year to winning 12. Last year they win 15, and then going out with a bang, winning 23 games up to that section final. Maybe, Rick, as you said, I mean, they lose twice to Park Center. That's their final hurdle all year long. They never lost back-to-back games. There were so many good things that this team did to establish themselves as a great program, and maybe that one more hurdle when it comes to Section 5 is finding a way to beat Park Center, who's always very good. And so they just kind of were robbed of maybe making that one last stamp, and who knows what might have happened in a state tournament. But all told, these seniors, talking about Say, Phillips, Myren, Remme, also Phil McFalls off the bench. This is a senior program, Kenton, that has a lot to hold their head up high about with the way they've taken this program from a 5-win team 3 years ago back up to now winning 23 games this year in 2019-2020.
Absolutely, and you go back a few years ago and they had a blowout loss to Champlain Park in the playoffs, and the teams they went up against in the Northwest and their section, they just couldn't handle them. And it was a young team, but obviously talented. And we were looking forward to what they could do. And this was the year. This was the year that they showed what they could do. They had the firepower. They had the cast to do it. And both Spring Lake Park and Park Center earned their way to that section final. It is disappointing that they don't get to play it out and see what would happen. Still a great season for the Panthers, and what a group of seniors that will be tough to replace.
Yeah, and talking about the seniors, let's start with Blake Remme, right? I mean, he's part of the heart and soul of this team, and he led them in scoring this year in the senior season, 18.9 points per game. I mean, just what a baller! Just able to get to the basket pretty much at any time he wants, and he's also got the deep threat too. So if you don't respect him, early enough, he'll drive on you, and then he'll step back and shoot the three on you. So when you have that kind of combination, and it's gone up every single year. 18.7 last season in his junior, and his sophomore year 17.9. So this guy came ready to score, and him combined with Gabe Myren was almost unstoppable force. And we've said it, in 2017, 2018 they won 11 games. 2018, 2019 won 15 games, and then this season 21 wins, only 5 losses on the year. So to just kind of have it end like that, very sad. And yeah, even Remme he can dunk too. So it's really fun to watch Remme and Myren go at it. But Gabe Myren really showed up in the playoffs.
Absolutely. Boy, he really turned it on. And that's the thing about the Panthers is they got a number of players that could step up at many nights. Some nights they're contributors. Some nights they're leading the team in scoring. And Gabe Myren, especially late in the year, was that guy to lead them in the playoffs. Big day against Roseville and Champlain Park, and 33 points versus the Rebels. He was lights out. Remme, and his teammates, they were making plays, but they also recognized what Myren was doing that night and gave him the ball so that he could do what he does. And stealing, dunking, hitting threes, attacking the basket, creating opportunities for other players. So Myren, great career, even though you don't get to finish with as far as you wanted to go, still great end to his high school career. And it's not over for Gabe Myren or Blake Remme. Rick, we got the chance to talk to them about this season and what lies ahead for them. All right, joining us now are a couple of Panthers. We've got Blake Remme and Gabe Myren. How you doing, fellas?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Doing good. My first question, I need an origin story from you guys. The first time you guys met, started playing basketball together, decided you were going to be best friends forever. What's your origin story?
It was like 5th grade, I think.
Yeah.
We started playing on the same team, and then it's just been since then, I guess, just building chemistry since 5th grade.
Yeah, started 5th grade, and then we just kept getting better and better, like playing together over time, and I don't know, just kept evolving.
Yeah, so the chemistry, did it kind of click right away? Because your guys' game, they kind of mirror each other offensively, right? You used to have the kind of same attacking shooting style. So did the chemistry come right away, or was this something that you guys had to learn how to play together?
I mean, when we were young, we were just kind of just shooting and doing whatever. But as we got older, it got easier to learn just because we knew our strengths and whatever. So I knew that he was a good driver. He knew he could kick it out to me, and I could do the same to him, stuff like that.
Right.
We learned each other's game really well.
You guys are supposed to play Park Center in the section final. I mean, just talk about how unique the season just kind of finished. You guys were, rolling high. You kind of handled Champlain Park, and now you're going to a final against a team you lost to twice in the regular season in Park Center. And just, how did the season kind of end?
Yeah, we're really looking forward to that game. I mean, like you said, we played Champlain, and the day after we had a very good practice, and then it was the more game we had to shoot around, and we're getting ready, and all of a sudden the tweet comes across saying that the game's canceled, and everybody just froze. Like, it was just so quiet everywhere, like we didn't know what to do, and it was just, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, kind of sucked because you can't really do anything about it. Like, the game was decided in a meeting room instead of on the court. I mean, it was kind of nothing you can really do.
You guys did have a really good season overall. You both eclipsed the 1,000-point mark. I mean, talk about kind of what that meant for your career.
It was a big accomplishment for both of us. Both of us, I would think. Been playing together for a long time. We both had the same accomplishment. We're both in the top of the scoring list for our school. So I mean, it's just like it's kind of cool to see each other grow and get that high in the rankings for our school. I mean,
yeah, it just shows all the hard work we put in and just paid off, and to get that in back-to-back games, it's just, I don't know, it's just unheard of.
Speaking of unheard of, 1,000 career points, not the only milestone for you guys. Later on in the year, you guys come up to the career scoring record for Spring Lake Park, and that record was held by Sean Scott.
Yep.
You guys both broke it in the same game. Did you guys realize the moment you did? Did you also realize that it was tied and then passed up again? You guys were kind of battling a little bit, especially in the first half with that record.
I wouldn't really say like we were competing for it. Really, we were just both playing our game and just taking what came to us. And we knew that we just had to take care of business that game. Whatever the outcome was at the end of the game, we were going to be happy if we got the win.
everybody get theirs. I mean, just whoever got the open shot, take it. And if it was more him, it was more him. If it was more me, it was more me. I mean, sometimes it was Skelly too, Dado or Jacob, anybody.
Yeah.
Did you guys know when it happened though? Because you guys it's a road game at Anoka. They don't exactly stop the game for, the opponent making a school record.
I realized a few minutes later, once I looked up in the scoreboard of the timeout, I was like, oh, we both passed it by now. Because we knew before the game, and then I didn't really notice it until like almost the first half was over, and I was like, oh, we definitely both passed it. And then they said something on the bench, so then we started to realize it. But I didn't realize it right away.
And Sean was there, right?
Yeah, he was right behind the bench.
Yeah, we got a picture with him after the game and stuff, and he was really positive about it too, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love Sean Scott, man. Covering him was fun, and watching you guys play was fun too, so it's really unique and fun to watch you guys go after his record, and really cool to see him there for that moment as well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
A lot of memorable moments for you guys this season, individually, but as a team, you guys had a couple 7-game winning streaks. You played at Target Center. You had a nice playoff run until the abrupt ending. What's your guys' favorite moment of the season?
I'd have to say hands down Maple Grove. That was – we were down 5 with 12 seconds left and ended up pulling it off. Blake hit that buzzer beater 3 to put us into OT, and then he took over in OT. We won a double OT, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah.
In Maple
Grove? I mean, he hit a 3 before me, and then there was a few seconds left, so we had to foul, and he ended up fouling out. And then they went down to 1 for 2 on free throws, and so we were down 3. And then I hit a 3 with like no time left, and we ended up winning in double OT.
Yeah.
I didn't think we were gonna win. I didn't think that shot was going in. I just kind of threw it. I didn't know. I mean, once it hit, I was excited, and then after the first overtime, I was like, sheesh, we didn't win that. Like, we didn't have Gabe either, but we pulled through. Our guys stepped up when they needed to.
You guys lost to Champlin Park in a shootout in 98-90 late in the year. I think it was the last regular season game, if I'm not mistaken. And then semifinals, 2 games later, you guys faced them again. Tell us what that was like. Obviously, the game plan had to change. I heard Coach Guzzi saying that you tried to outshoot him the first time and didn't work out, so you're going to change things up, especially on defense. So tell me about that game and what that experience is like.
We did a lot to stop Francis on the inside, and then to stop Strong too, the guard on the outside. We had to just contain those two because they were the ones who got us the most in the first game, and TJ. So we just really emphasized on defense and like making them have one shot, and then just making our shots count on offense, moving the ball, and letting everybody just shoot the most open shot we can get in a possession.
And Gabe, you were feeling it that game.
Huh?
You were feeling it that game.
Yeah, I was just – I don't know. It started on defense. I just got a couple steals and a couple easy transition buckets, and then, I don't know, just kept going from there, I guess.
Dude wouldn't miss.
Give him the ball.
Uh-huh.
So what's next for you guys? You guys both committed to your separate schools?
I'm committed to the North Dakota School of Science. It's a JUCO in North Dakota. I'm gonna go there for a year or two and see what other offers I can earn out of that, and then just build from there.
And then I'm going to Morehead State. It's D2 in the NSIC.
So you guys are friends and you're competitors. So, of course, we're going to play a game to see how well you guys know each other. We're going to play Sports in Quarantine, Know Your Bro. So I'll ask you guys each some questions. You'll take turns, see if how well you know your teammate. All right. So we're going to start with Blake. Blake, tell me, what is Gabe's middle name?
Scott, I think.
Is that right, Gabe?
Yeah.
All right, Gabe, what is Blake's middle name?
Oh, my gosh.
You got it, bro. I'll give him a hint. Can I give him a hint?
What is it? Is it going to be a letter hint?
Yeah.
Okay, give him a letter.
There's a lot of names.
It's a J.
Is it John?
No, Joseph.
Joseph.
Close enough. Close enough.
All right. Blake's off to a good start. All right, so you guys ever play any board games?
Some. It depends on what game, I guess.
All right. Gabe, does Blake have a favorite game? If so, what is it?
All right, Blake's good at a lot of video games, so all right. So I say right now, your favorite is probably Warzone.
Yeah.
You play that? Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
What's Gabe's favorite game?
I'm gonna have to. Can I go like? No, I'm gonna have to guess either 2K or Madden.
Yeah, I've been playing 2K a lot lately.
2K20. Who's your team? Or do you have create a player?
Yeah, I'm doing a my player.
Nice.
All right, Blake. What is Gabe's favorite place to hang out or place to eat?
Oof.
When he's not in quarantine.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
That's a spot.
I mean, that's where we've gone before a game. So
yeah, that's the team hangout pretty much.
Pre-game. Okay, nice. Was that same for both of you guys?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That food can never go wrong.
No, it will never get old ever.
All right, one more question for the win. Gabe, is there anything that Blake's afraid of? What is he most fearful of?
I don't think he's afraid of anything really.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, fearless.
Fearless
Fearless.
on the court.
I mean, if I see a clown late at night, I'm probably gonna be afraid of it. But
that's fair.
That's everybody though.
No, yeah.
Especially if you've seen the movie It.
Or first thing in the morning. That's probably worse. First thing in the morning.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Morning clowns. Those are the worst. All right, Blake. What is Gabe most afraid of?
I have to go with like spiders or insects. Just like.
Yeah, insects. I can't do insects. Like ticks, nah.
Or yeah, centipedes, anything like that. I'm good.
Yeah.
One thing I don't like either is snakes. There's too many garter snakes in Minnesota.
That's true.
Don't go south. All right. Well, thanks, fellas, for joining us. We appreciate you guys coming on Sports in Quarantine.
Of course.
Wish you guys the best in your college careers and everything ahead of you.
Yeah,
all right, thank you.
Thanks for having us on.
All right, thanks, guys.
Two really good friends in Gabe Myren and Blake Remme. The seniors going on for bigger and better things. Kenton, when you look at some other seniors, Jacob Say, Daydor Phillips, what kind of stands out in your mind for a player like Phillips?
So Phillips, he's listed at 6'3" that I've seen, and it's hard to believe because he is a post player and he's such a strong post player that it's easy to think that he's taller than that because he plays big. He goes up against guys that between 6'4" and 6'9", and he's a great defender. He's a great rebounder. He's so good inside. And how many times have we seen, a nice post move, grabbing the basketball off the rebound and the shot fake, the bucket and the foul. He just plays so strong and has had a lot of great plays. And then even with the perimeter play that he developed and creating every Panther on the roster can steal the ball and run the floor, every one of them, and every one of them can shoot the three. So he fits perfectly in the Panther mold, and his role was to be a post player, and he was exactly what the Panthers needed out of him at his position.
The other kind of guy that you need when you're running that offense is someone that can take control distributing. Everybody has to be a distributor because you're looking to find the open guy, but the guy that led everybody in assists was Jacob Say. And Ken, you said it as the joke on your highlight, oh, Say, can you see? He could see. He could see the floor. He could make sure he found his teammates in open spots. And that guy not only been tapping in almost 10 points per game offensively, too, him being able to do that and distribute at a high level, that's going to make that offense really hum along, because you got to have the guys that can finish inside, outside, wherever it might be. But somebody like Say can be a senior leader that leads with that mindset of looking for the open man, being unselfish and spreading it around, just like we saw that the Panthers did all year to get up towards those 80 points the number of times that they did. So he's certainly another senior that's going to be missed. They do have guys coming back, and you talk about Caleb Skelly, who we saw a lot from in some of those highlights, Trey Johnston, Nick Ogile. Those will be guys that now they've seen it, right? We talked about this with their girls team. They've seen this level of success. It might come in different ways with different skill sets. You know, the approach is going to be the same, Kenton, as you talked about with the way you want to play Panther basketball, but they've seen it work. They have the belief, and they'll have the confidence rolling in to try and push this program right back here. Next year, when we don't have this issue and everybody gets to play their championships and try to go to the state tournament, they'll push to be right back there again against amongst the best teams in Section 5.
Yeah, clearly those are talented players that they're bringing back, and the challenge is to do it without the senior class that's graduating, and we'll be able to see them step up even more into the spotlight next year, and should be fun to see what they bring to the table.
All of our teams have a lot of chances, as Rick mentioned, to give us some really fun games and good matchups as they take steps forward next year.
Indeed. And that'll about wrap it up for us here on this edition of Sports in Quarantine. Again, thank you to our guests, Gabe Myren and Blake Remme. And congratulations to all of our teams and athletes on their season. We wish the best for you ahead, and wish the best for everyone watching this. For JW and Rick, I'm Kenton. Stay inside and support your teams. And make sure you're watching those sports classics. I'm getting people emailing me and tweeting me that are watching these, specifically the one where I was on camera with the mutton chops. So there's been 4 people that have sent me that picture. So
talk about classic. That's classic.
Yeah,
that's classic. That is classic. All right. So watch those on North Metro TV and northmetrotv.com. And we'll be back next week with more quarantined Sports Den. We're going to sterilize and get ready for you next week. All right, go Bengals.
Go Panthers.
Go Cougars. See ya.
Bye.
Goodbye.